We're back on another episode of Information Station JW with yours truly, Jonathan Williams. I'm here today and I am going to be talking about a smartwatch, a device that I've had for about a month now, and I've had the opportunity to utilize this watch and some things that I really like about it that I want to talk about today, and kind of let you guys see a few features that it does. Okay, and for those of you that don't know about this device, this is the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier model. They do have two models. This is the higher end of the two, and I didn't initially plan on getting this device. I went in to do an upgrade, and you know how it is, and you get in there, the salespeople, they want to do upsells and try to get you to buy something else. Well, this thing was $349. So I already knew that was a no-go, okay? It's just the way it is. I wasn't going to pay $349 for a smartwatch. Now, if this is what you want to do, great. I'll let you know the features. If it's worth that for you, then by all means, you go pay the $349. However, with the upgrade of my device, they said that they would give it to me for $49. Thus, why it is sitting here today. Okay? So, that being said, I have had an opportunity to utilize it, and again, as I have said, there's some features. This is my first smartwatch. Typically, smartwatches do things that accompany your smartphone, like send messages, texting, take heart monitor, and all that good stuff. Well, this is kind of like that on steroids. Okay, this thing does a whole lot of things that you wouldn't typically think that a smartwatch would do. We've come so far in technology. It's like they're putting everything in these watches. And so I'm just here to showcase a few of the features. I'm not going to try to show you everything about the watch. I will show you a few things that I like about it particularly, and we'll go from there. And by all means, if you guys have experiences, I encourage you to leave your comments below. Let me know what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Out the box, basically this thing came with some AKG earbuds. Now, you think, okay, they're just giving you these just to, give you, an accessory. Fortunately for me, I'm very familiar with, musical equipment, electronics. So I know the name AKG. That is what these earbuds are. They're AKGs. These are a $100 pair of earbuds. Yes, you heard me correct. $100 pair of earbuds. For $100, you would think that they would sound pretty decent. Well, I'm here to tell you that these are comparable to some of the higher end headphones. AKGs, for those that don't know what they are, or as far as the brand, they make pretty good electronics. They make some nice cordless mics, good electronical stuff. They sound pretty good. I've had the opportunity to use them. In fact, I find myself utilizing these more than I utilize my Bob Marleys. Okay, Bob Marleys are a very nice set of headphones, but I find myself the comfort level that I find in these, I can wear these pretty much for long extended periods of time. So you guys get these in your package, don't just set them aside. They're not your traditional pair of earbuds. These things are really high end. And for $100 in the name, I understand why. Okay, that being said, moving on. Next thing is this wireless charger that came with it. This is pretty cool. I actually like this because when you stick your phone, not phone, but when you stick your watch onto this charger, there's actually a little magnetic thing on there that kind of just draws the watch to it. But you have the wall charger that comes in here, and you basically plug that in the wall. And this thing can be charged, in my experience, in just under an hour. So, it doesn't take long for you to charge the watch at all. I've been hearing that people are getting 4 days charge time out of their watches. That has not been my experience. Not at all. Nowhere even close. Okay? Maybe half of that. 2 days max. Okay? Typically when my watch gets down to about 50%, then I'm putting it on there to basically charge it up. But from my experience, 2 days max is what I get out of the charge on this watch. So what I'm going to do a close-up shot, kind of show you guys some features on it. some things that I do like about it, and see if you guys agree, disagree, and I'll be right back. See you in a minute. Okay, here we are with the shot of the watch on the face. A couple of things I want to point out to you guys right off the bat. I'm not going to basically go through every single feature of this watch, but there are a few things that I do want to point out that are particularly of interest to me, that I feel that would make your usage of this device more enjoyable. First of all, I do like the design of the bezel here on the face, and that you can scroll through different screens just by turning that clockwise. Okay, it'll give you different settings that you can check. That's even where you can play music right from the watch, which is a pretty cool feature. You can also enable Bluetooth device headphones that you can attach to the watch, connect to the watch rather, and listen to your music that way, or you can listen to it via the watch. If you go back here, you have your app settings, S-Voice, which is equivalent to what Siri would be, or Cortana on the Windows format. You have your phone and settings. This S-Voice feature it works pretty decent. I mean, it's, you know, it's not without its flaws. Sometimes it understands you, sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, if you tap it, and you can also tap it from there, or if you go back out, you can double tap the home button. It'll bring up that feature as well, 2 times. What's the weather in Florida?
It's 95 and partly sunny today.
Great. Let's try this again. What is your name?
Some people call me S-Voice, but some people are still thinking of what my name could be.
Pretty cool. So there you have it. And if the speaker sounds a little raspy or muffled, that's because my finger is on the back side of the watch, so keep that in mind. You can also adjust the volume of the watch as well to suit so it doesn't sound as raspy. If you tap the apps icon, basically gives you all the traditional, you know, things that you would do with the watch. Yeah, you have your text messaging. You can toggle clockwise. You can make phone calls. There are your contacts. Samsung Health, which is an app that allows you to go in and do things like check your you know, pulse, and it takes track of your steps and different things, how much water that you drink, and so forth and so on. Digital Life. This right here is one of my favorites that I actually utilize quite often. This is Samsung Pay, which is really cool because if you have and you've utilized the smartphone to pay for things at kiosks, you know, you just swipe your phone over the strip, magnetic strip, and it basically takes the money out. Well, with this ability, it's nothing new. I believe Apple has a form of this as well, but Samsung Pay, I really like this feature in that you're able to utilize it the same way you would with your phone. You make purchases. And the good thing about this particular one is that this one can also recognize the old readers, okay? You know, guys, that recently they had updates on all the readers. Well, you can use Samsung Pay. It still recognizes the old readers as well. So I think that kind of gives it a notch up above the rest of the smartwatches out there and pay systems. Basically, you just tap it, hold the top button here on the side, and then it will ask you for a little pin that you enter in. Once it opens up, basically you just hit pay and just hold your watch over the magnetic strip, and boom, you're done. I really love that feature. I utilize it a lot, and if you signed up for it, there are a lot of places that you can utilize Samsung Pay, and you get rewards points that you can redeem for different things. Okay, moving on. If you go to the next settings, there you can go in and make the changes as necessary to different parameters of the phone. You have your weather, and if you hit that, that will toggle you over. Music player. Again, I've explained to you guys, you can you know, attach a wireless Bluetooth device headset and listen to music via headphones, or you can listen to it on the watch. S-Voice, of course, we know. Reminders, altimeter, scheduling, alarm, world clock. This thing will even track your sleep patterns. As crazy as that sounds, it will actually, if you want to set this thing up to track your, to track your sleep patterns, it will do so and tell you how much sleep you're getting. And but the thing about it, this watch is somewhat kind of thick. As you can see, you won't be sleeping in this thing every night to try to track some sleep, because this thing will get at some point bothersome. You know, you're looking at a face of about an inch, about a little bit over an inch in terms of diameter. So it's comfortable enough to wear all day. If you have sleeves on, it will not, I repeat, it will not go over this watch unless you have the sleeves that are kind of, you know, custom made or kind of wide sleeves there. But anyways, there's also a feature on here that I want to tell you guys about. It's an SOS feature. Basically, this will send out a message to say if you don't have your phone on, because this is the LTE version, you're basically able to use this independently of your phone. So if you've left your phone at the house, you got this version here, you can take and receive calls just as you would if you had your phone with you. What I like about this feature is that you can press this button here on the side 3 times, and you go in here before you do that and of course set up who your emergency contacts will be. And once you press this button here 3 times, it will give you 5 seconds to cancel the notification to those people that you have on your list. So let's just say you're around here fooling around with the watch, and you know, you're pressing buttons and you just accidentally hit this 3 times. It'll give you a 5-second countdown and you hit cancel, and that will enable you to stop that, you know, emergency message from going out. But what it does, it sends out a text, lets the people know that you're basically in trouble or whatever your message is, and it will call on your behalf so they can actually hear what's going on. So let's just say, for instance, that this was an emergency and you press this thing 3 times and you didn't cancel. Then what would end up happening is that message would go out, and then they would hear something like,
"Somebody help me, please! I'm falling and I can't get out!"
So there you have it. That's one of the many features that this watch is able to do, and definitely we would want to get in touch with whoever it is you need to get in touch with in an emergency situation, whether you have fallen and you can't get up, or whether your phone has got misplaced and you're in an emergency situation and you need to notify somebody. This device will do that and will notify those that need to be notified, and they will hear whatever it is that they need to be hearing. Okay, moving on. So, next we have, let me just put this little pin in. Okay, so next we have your settings. You can actually go in here and customize settings. Watch faces. This is another thing I wanted to show you guys. This is pretty cool. All right, say you want to change your watch face. You don't have to actually go to the phone to do that. You just go in here, hit watch faces, tap it again, and basically it brings up the available faces that you can choose from. So really all you do is just go counterclockwise, and it will give you different faces for the watch that you can put on. And you got a lot of different options. You can even download some are free, and you know, there are some that you can pay for. This is one that's particularly cool. Gives you the date, step counter, gives the temperature of whatever it is for that day, the left hand corner. A lot of cool features. And you can also go back, let's see, let's go back to settings, watch faces, again, watch faces, and just go through and see what you like. Another nice one there. So let's try that one, see what it looks like. Blue pop is what they call that. Blue pop. All right, that looks pretty nice. There again, that one has the step counter, 97 steps, gives you the day and the date there on the right hand side. So, you know, you guys can go in and change it to whatever, you know, you like. My personal favorite is the one I had. So we'll go back and put that back on right there. All right. Krypton. All right. So that's just a few things that you guys can do. Again, you can change a lot of the parameters in the watch just by going to settings. You have different sounds and vibration, device, display. You can change that, the brightness, to reflect however bright you want it. Go in, do all of that nice stuff. Let's see, auto low brightness, you can change it. It'll actually do it by itself. If you turn that on, it will adjust itself automatically. Screen timeout, you can set that parameter. And just a lot of nice things that you can do. Your calls, messages, connections, Bluetooth is where you go there for that. Of course, your security. You'll want to have that set on. I know it's a hassle every time you want to open the phone up, but it's actually connected to your Samsung Pay. So you'll want to set that to have a PIN every time that you open, because if you don't, what'll happen is the app will be, you know, anybody can basically grab your watch and they'll have access to your credit card, and they'll be able to just walk up to, you know, kiosks and just charge whatever. And you definitely don't want that. So definitely put your PIN number in there, people. All right. So in a nutshell, you know, there's a lot that you can do on this thing. There is one other feature that I want to show you guys, okay? I want to show you guys about a particular app that you can download to this phone, as well as the watch, and it will enable you to do some video recording, but you'll be able to remotely control that video from your watch. So I'm going to cut and show you guys another an example of that actually being put into effect right quick. So take a look at this right quick. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you a quick example of this thing in real time. As you can see on my wrist, this is actually a monitor, so I can see myself, what the camera sees, and I can make any adjustments that I need to make on my shot. You know, if you're doing the selfie, you can kind of, you know, make the adjustments, then hit your button to take the picture. And this does work on both the front as well as rear camera. Okay, just something to be mindful of. This app is somewhat slow. Sometimes when you launch it, it doesn't launch right away. So just in case you guys launch it and you say, well, you recommended this app was a good app, it was a good one, it don't work. Well, I'm letting you know on the front end, it does work, but sometimes it's a little laggy. So just wanted to show you guys that. All right, we'll see you on the other side. Okay guys, I wanted to do a short video on actually downloading these to your devices. You're going to go to the Galaxy apps, and at the search, you're going to basically, it's already there, so you can just hit either one or two. Camera remote, phone camera remote circle. As you can see on my phone, if you look to the left there, you see that phone, and then you also have to the right gear. I think this is where a lot of the people are getting confused at. They are looking and searching for the camera app, and they're just installing it on their phone, and they're not able to pull it up on their watch. Well, you have to install this on both devices. So once you install it there, it will basically download to the phone, of which you see I do have installed. You go back out and then switch to gear, and you'll basically just go out and retype phone camera app or phone camera remote. And as you can see on the gear side, I've got that installed as well. Okay, so that is what you're going to want to do. Otherwise, you will not be able to access the app fully without having it on the gear. Now, I do remember when I put it on the watch, I had to pay like $1 and some change, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was $2 to put it on the watch. I don't know why that is, but I do remember that, so just a heads up, just in case you guys see a charge for the app to be put on the watch. The phone, as far as I know, remember that was free, but just to let you guys know that there is a charge there. Once you do that, basically you can just go into your watch. At that point, it should show up on your watch. You'll have to toggle through your apps, and it will show up typically on the last page of your apps, and it will say phone, camera, or remote. And from that point, once you launch it within the watch, it will open up your camera on your phone, and you can toggle between front camera, back camera, and then go ahead and change it to video, and take and control your camera shots and video accordingly from the watch, as well as being able to monitor it, which is the coolest feature about it. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps you guys out in terms of at least trying to figure out how to get this thing to launch on your watch. All right. Okay, guys, so there you have it. You now know how to, download those apps on both the phone as well as the watch. So it should show up once you go to your apps settings. You'll just want to toggle over to the last page, and there it should be. Camera remote. Okay, so that's what you're going to want to look for, camera remote. And once you hit that, of course, it's going to launch the camera on your phone. And from that point, you'll be able to take pictures, video, etc. So just a little bonus I wanted to show you guys for the usage of the Gear S3. All right. Okay, hopefully that helped you guys out in terms of how to put this app on the watch as well as the phone. A lot of people were having issues with trying to access the app from the watch, so hopefully that'll solve that problem for you. I'll have to say that this watch is pretty impressive for what it can do. The only negative, the drawback that I would have about it is probably the thickness of it, which if you're wearing, again, shirts, it doesn't go over the watch, which is, kind of negative for me. But, I mean, it's a small inconvenience. This watch basically looks good no matter if you're wearing casual, semi-dress, whatever. One thing that I did not mention, that on this watch, you can actually change out the bands. It's got a little metal recess tab here that you can basically go in here within a second, just pull that tab back, and these bands come off. So you can change it out to suit your look, whatever. And if you want a different type of look with the bands, you can certainly do that, which is a great feature. Now, I've seen people drop this thing. They tell me that you can drop it into a meter of water, okay, for up to 30 minutes. And basically, it will be water resistant. Now, let me tell you what my thoughts are on that, okay? Now, obviously, these folks that reviewed this watch know what they're doing, all right? Why anybody would want to go back and test that theory, I don't know. But I'm just going to go with what they said. I ain't dropping my watch in no meter of water for no 30 minutes just to see if it's going to leak or whatever. First of all, I ain't going to be swimming in this thing, so there's no reason for me to drop it in a bucket of water. Number two, I'm not going to take no shower in it, okay, which they recommend that you don't do, okay? Water resistant does not mean waterproof. We got that? It does not mean watery proof. Waterproof, watery proof, whoever proof. Water resistant, okay? So, no need for me to drop this in no bucket of water, okay? That's it, moving on. Now, as far as the functionality of the watch, my favorite feature is the Samsung Pay. I really love that because it's a convenience of being able to pay for my purchases and then get rewards points. So I definitely would tell you guys, definitely put that on your watch once you get it. Even if you left your wallet at home, you're still not out of pocket to be able to pay for your purchases as long as you have this S3 on. The camera feature, of course, that's a great additional bonus. If you're someone that likes to take selfies and video, you guys can do that from the watch as well. So all around, I'd say this thing is a tank of a watch. Very sturdy, very durable watch. Well built, very well built. And I would say that it will give you a longevity as long as you don't abuse the thing. Just take care of your stuff, and it'll give you many years of service. Now, that being said, I'm going to say that on my system of rating, that this thing definitely has my 2 thumbs up rating. Okay, this thing is definitely a stud, far from being a dud. Craftsmanship of it is well built, and again, this is a watch that does a lot of different things. I didn't want to take a lot of time and go through everything on this watch, but I gave you guys a general idea. You guys can go in there and play around with it, and just, you know, I'm just trying to give you pertinent information out the box, so you guys can say, oh wow, okay, I didn't know it did that, thus or this. So now that you have the information, which is what you get here on Information Station JW, now you know what to do. Okay, so I have come to the conclusion of another episode. Thank you all for watching, and I want to say this before I go. I really appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate how you guys have been supporting this channel. It's fairly young, and you know, I'm just getting up off the ground and coming to you guys with different content ideas that I have. And so just stay tuned. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, giving me your likes, and more importantly, subscribing, because you guys, without you guys, there wouldn't be me. So keep supporting, keep liking, and leave me your comments below. Let me know what you think. And you guys have been on another episode of Information Station JW, where you guys get information and reviews that you can most definitely count on. Okay, that being said, I will see you guys on the next go round. Peace.